Welcome to the Never Been Promoted podcast and YouTube channel. I'm on a mission to help you cut the time to all the things that are holding you back so you can unleash your entrepreneur. Hey, welcome to Never Been Promoted. I'm your host, Thomas Helfrich. We're here on a mission to help you get out of that corporate world, cut the tide, all that shit holding you back so you can kind of unleash this entrepreneur within you. Our mission is really clear. We just want more entrepreneurs in the world. We need them. I'd say the world needs them. The truth is, I just really care about the U.S. I think the U.S. needs them. I think we need way more people working for themselves, building businesses, small businesses, and then even bigger. They'll be happier, and I think it's better for our economy and everything else that's going on in the world. Today, we're going to be joined by Roger Wakefield. He is the YouTube plumber. He has I think it's the trades. I'm going to mess up his podcast. He's going to do it because his logo messed me up when I read it earlier. He has a podcast. It's all about plumbing and how you should become something in a trade, something to actually start making money. And so I absolutely love what he's done. He has a massively awesome YouTube channel. And if you haven't ever watched some of his YouTubes, and if you want to learn about plumbing, first of all, subscribe to his channel. What he does on Saturdays blows you away. But some of his YouTubes are just insane. They're just like things I never knew could do. I saw him weld some pipe shut, and then I saw the valve blow up and not his weld the other day. It was so cool. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I didn't know that could happen. I also thought he was going to die because he turned the pressure up to like 4,000 million pounds per square inch before it blew up. So anyway, that being said, we're going to talk to him. One shameless plug, get out there, go to cutthetie.com. That's a community we have that's been set up. It's a mastermind group to help you get better at entrepreneurship. So enough shameless plugs. Let's bring Mr. Roger to the stage, batting in first place. How are you, Roger?
Thomas, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I was kidding with you offline that, a lot of your posts on social media is when you're traveling to go talk about the trades and things you built. And it's always a picture of you in the really good seat in the Southwest where you can put your legs forward. And like my entire feed is Roger Wakefield's feet.
It's a pretty good deal. I've literally had people stop me walking down the street because they either recognize me from one of my social platforms, but I guess they go to Facebook too and see my posts over there because they're like, oh my God, you're the legroom guy. It's like, no, I'm the plumber. So it works.
I look at it as an angle. You're trying to get Southwest Airlines to sponsor you.
Man, wouldn't that be amazing?
Like all that. Like, I mean, I don't know why they haven't caught on yet.
They don't like me.
Well, you're like, he's already paying. Why would we?
Exactly. He's buying tickets. He flies so much. He's A-list preferred. So, just let him keep doing what he does.
That's right. Well, in Atlanta here, I didn't know there was other airlines except Delta. I didn't know that. It took me like 7 years to figure that out. I was like, oh, that's what the North Terminal's about. All the other people.
Exactly. Yes.
It's great. Where do you call home nowadays?
I am literally just northeast of Dallas, Texas. Right now, I'm in one of my studios. We bought almost 10 acres just outside of Dallas in a little town called Wiley. I live a mile down the road in another town called Saxe. And we bought this because we wanted to build an event center. We want to build training centers. But the cool thing is about a real long, skinny 4,000-foot house. So I've got my office on the other side of the wall, which is where I shoot my podcast when I have guests come in. My studio here, we've got our marketing team over in the next room. And for them, it's a bigger room than they had over in the office in Richardson. And then down from that, there's a kitchen, there's a man cave, a living room, and then just down past that, there were 4 bedrooms that we've turned into offices. We're going to do a couple of them as podcast studios. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on out here.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you just made a frame of reference. We had met during a branding mastermind. Yep. And David Breyer, I believe is his last name. If you guys need branding, he's a great guy. He didn't pay me to say that. Just really enjoyed the class. If I had his cool book, it's written for people like me in giant letters, and you can read it in a day. It's amazing. So I think it's like what's he called it? The
brand intervention.
The brand intervention.
But he also just came out with a new one, and I don't have it in here, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. But his new one, and literally, I got it right before I went out of town. So that's why it's not in here. I haven't even opened it up and gone through it yet, but it's like the rich brand, poor brand.
I
Very
like that.
interesting. Yeah.
I like, so he's really good. And that's when we met that, and during this, and I want to just tell people this, while we were in that, you had such a cool setup for your YouTube channel, because your YouTube channel is huge. Like it was at one point, it's 600,000. I haven't looked recently, but it's a ton of subscribers. You have an actual, subscription base, but we'll get into a little bit as well from the kind of business model. But you had a slider you had just added. You were showing it one day, and because that, I went out and ordered a slider and redid a whole room in my house here to be a studio. So you're the inspiration for all the extra money I spent around here. I mean, and it wasn't insignificant. I'm saying when you detach framing, double drywall it, add Romax 4 or 5 times with sound tiles.
Yes, it adds up.
AR go off above me. I'll tell you right now. And not that anyone shot any, but it would be difficult. It would sound like a.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The slider that I got, which is what I'm running off the camera for right now.
Look at that.
It's smooth. It's easy. Sometimes it's loud enough that I hear it, and I'm like, man, Colton, can you pick that up with the cameras or the microphones? He said, no, it's great.
No,
mine.
Like, do you like a whining sound? Because I hear a whine sound of mine. It's like a wee. Sometimes it's like really high pitched. I can hear mine right now. I'm with you.
You can hear the motor running. So anyway, I love what I get to do. But yeah, there's me playing with my slider. So then you come back to camera one, and it's just me. So you're stuck with me.
Well, listen. I want you to introduce yourself. So you're the YouTube plumber. You have just do the brain dump of what you're doing today, and then let's dive into how you got there, because I have completely changed my perspective on the trades and people who do them and the business that are run after meeting you and hearing what you go and speak about and seeing the channel you built. And I can't imagine how many subscriptions coming, because I'm like, I think I would just do that, just full-time YouTube, if I had your channel set up. So the show is yours. Do what you do.
No, Thomas, it's pretty much what we do. I'm Roger Wakefield. I am innovating and advancing the trades industry, and I'm doing it through education, innovation, and community engagement. I teach tradespeople how to get out and be seen. Whether you are someone just starting out in the trades, someone who has been in the trades for a while, you've got a license, you're not learning new things. I teach tradespeople that there's so many more things to learn that'll help you grow. I teach tradespeople how to start their own businesses, which is really funny because now I've got other entrepreneurs coming to me saying, look, if you can teach a plumber to do it, I think you can teach me to do it. And then I teach entrepreneurs how to grow their brand, how to grow their following, how to grow their communities through networking, social media, and SEO. So literally, I sold my plumbing companies because we started growing so big on YouTube. We had to figure out which way we wanted to go. So what we've done on YouTube has been really good. There's the Trade Talks logo just popped up behind me. We started a second channel about a year ago. We just went up to, we're getting close to 25,000 subscribers, I think. And we just went over 1 million views. So it's growing pretty good.
What's the second channel about?
It's literally, it's about all the trades, but we wanted to create a show formula where it's more of a variety show. So we talk about what's going on in the news today with the trades. What can businesses learn for growth? What can the plumber or the entrepreneur learn for mental growth? Soft skills, new material equipment and technology. We talk about that. We talk about MEP, where it's mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, not just plumbing. So we shifted it from all plumbing, which is pretty much what my channel was about, because we realized our community, our audience, we had electricians, we had HVAC techs and roofers. And I mean, I've got dentists and chiropractors that are in here on a regular basis, and I ask them, why are you watching my videos? And they're like, Roger, you make me a better person. You talk about doing things the right way and being professional about it. Yeah. And they're like, I take out the word plumber and put in chiropractor, and, other than laying pipe, you've pretty much helped me out a lot.
I mean, I've gotten pretty good at laying pipe.
That's why I became a plumber. Just saying, I'm going to throw that out there and then I'll leave it alone.
I'm just going to throw it on the table.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
We can do that on the show.
Just throw it on the table.
This isn't corporate owned.
What's the new channel called? The new channel is called The Trade Talks. And it's also on YouTube. We're everywhere where you can find Spotify. Trying to be like you. We decided from the beginning, if we're going to do a podcast, let's do it right. Let's video it. Let's put it out there. And we probably get more views through YouTube than we do listens through your podcast, but really we're doing pretty good. I think we're in the top 25% for people that talk about the trades, and we're just getting started.
Yeah. Well, and I just put up youtube.com/@the-trade-talks. Is that correct for you?
I believe so.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't,
someone can jump in if it isn't, but I think you'll find it. I think I like to find these reflective moments for entrepreneurs. You know, in what's built it, you're coming into, you could, I mean, you have a huge following on the other one. You get, I'm sure, a good subscription base. You guys are still doing a subscription model on on your original one, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's a great source of income that's steady. It comes in, you probably could do some predictability with it, but yet you started something else. Did you take all the lessons learned of, oh God, we're not doing this and that, we're going to do it into the new one?
We did, but remember, this one literally started out us doing one podcast a week. So I would fly people into town. We'd go have dinner Friday night. I always ask them, do you like steak or do you like Mexican? Because I've got two amazing restaurants.
You like steak or beef?
And yeah, but even when I go to Mexican, I order a steak and I tell them, well, I'm eating steak no matter where we go. So just know that. But I'd bring them into town, hang out with them Friday night, get to talk to them, get to know them, pick them up Saturday morning, bring them in here to the studio. We'd go over into my office where I've got 5 cameras set up, and we would shoot our podcast. Then we'd come over into this studio, and I've got 3 microphones in here. We'd set up another one here to my left, and we'd talk about something. So we could shoot 1 or 2 videos. And then I used to go live every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Since we're doing the podcast on the other channel, we're going live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we do that so tradespeople on the East Coast can sit down during lunch and participate, watch it, do whatever they want to do. But then everybody else, Central Standard Time, Mountain, Pacific, when you go to lunch, the video's already up there ready to watch. So we put a lot of thought behind every little detail of this.
Yeah. On your when your video, so videocast and podcasts are an interesting way to go. I'm going to table that just for a second though. I want you to, the original channel, do you do the spiel on trades? Because there's people out there who are in a corporate world, or maybe they're younger and they're about to go to college, or they're in college, and they're like, they're incurring debt, they're doing this, or they're considering it, and they're looking at their job prospects thinking, I get paid $75K a year to do as a good start, and I'm facing $200,000 of school debt. I don't know if you guys know math. It doesn't pay off very fast. That way it's like a 30-year adventure. But I mean, go meet a plumber in year 2, they're making a couple $100,000. So
yeah.
Anyway, so talk about what you, preach is not the right word, but I'm okay saying it, what you were kind of evangelize instead.
I'll get behind the pulpit here. It's great because literally there's over 1 million unfilled trades jobs right now. And you look at America, blue collar workers built and are repairing and maintaining everything you see every day. If it's a road, if it's a bridge, if it's a building, if it's a house, if it's an apartment complex, it really doesn't matter. Blue collar workers built this. And each year, unfortunately, right now, there's less and less people getting into the trades. Your average age for tradespeople in the United States is mid-50s. So in the next 5 to 10 years, these people are done. They're going to be retiring. So I was on Dr. Phil last year, and he brought me in to discuss this with an attorney and some little kid from TikTok that tried to be an electrician and couldn't cut it. And they both had the idea that everybody needs to go to college. Nobody needs to get in the trades. It's hard work. It's not good. You're going to hurt your body. But it's like, these are the people that are building the America that we live in. On Dr. Phil, he said in the next 3 years, they expect 4 to 5 million unfilled trades jobs. 1 million now, 4 to 5 in 3 years. Supply and demand is fixing to kick in. And I truthfully think a good tradesman is going to make over $100 an hour on his check in the next 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 to 4 years. But guys, it's coming.
Yeah, well, I listen here in Alpharetta, Georgia. It's certainly $100 an hour take home, because it's like you're I mean, but that's a good point. So if you're going to get in the trades, understand the model, right? You might not, you may need to move from a small town, or at least go work in a bigger one to get the numbers you want.
And you're talking Alpharetta. Alpharetta is not a huge town. I used to go there 2 or 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. What's your population? Do you know?
Probably a few 100,000. I mean, of the 9 million people that live in Atlanta, or I'm sorry, 7 million live in Atlanta, it's probably, 300,000 of it. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's an affluent area for sure, but it's not like it's not a huge part of, but they're all blended together, right? But my point being is people pay a premium. It's unbelievable how much people pay to put an electric outlet in. And like, you realize you can Google how to do that. It's not that difficult.
I did it, and I'm a plumber. Just
if you
saying.
can listen, if you're a plumber, you can do anything. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Other than laying pipe, I'm gonna fall back.
If you can get out of a vapor lock, sir. Oh, I've had that happen. I'm going to tell you, I do my own plumbing to under code, of course. Anybody listening?
Absolutely, yeah.
But if I
illegal.
maybe got the jackhammer and broke up my floor in my basement and realized that's not a big enough jackhammer and had to go back and have the work. What I tell my wife is it's just going to be a bad day because
sometimes we have them. Sometimes even the licensed plumber has a bad day.
It's a breaking through rebar. I'm telling man, you have to cut rebar and then you have to. It's such a anyway.
Yes.
So I agree. So my perspective was always like, trades, people who can't make it in college, because that's how I grew up. Go to a university. By the way, I am okay for education. I just don't believe you should incur massive amounts of debt that you couldn't pay off in a year or two to do it.
And I was the same way. I was brought up, if you don't go to college, you'll never amount to anything.
Right.
And
exact words I've heard.
That's
from my
stigma that every tradesperson has because they heard it too. And most tradespeople, they still believe that. They're like, look, man, I'm just a plumber. I'm not ever going to be anything. Guys, you can be whatever you want to be. I mean, you can be an entrepreneur. You can own your own business. I know people that own a plumbing company that are just under $200 million a year. They're making good money as
that's a commercial company for sure. That is definitely not residential.
No, it's residential, but they're
no
massive.
Way.
They are massive. Yes. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and garage doors. And now they just opened a new division. Well, really two. Another one that they've built their own handyman company where they can bring people in and train them. I mean, think about it. When you're out on a job plumbing and you got to cut a hole in the wall, well, hey, we have a handyman that'll come out and fix this for you. Call this company. And now they got into roofing. I mean, they're growing like crazy.
Yeah. Well, what I love about what the trades do, and listen, if you're capable to go to college and you think you can be an attorney, then go do that route if that's what you want to go do. I mean, I don't know, attorney especially. I don't know if I've ever met a happy attorney ever.
Yeah.
And usually the one who's left.
With ChatGPT, we're fixing to not need them.
Yeah, there is truth to that. They can do a good job of writing in contracts and some things, but the trade that I think people don't realize too, and if COVID didn't make this obvious, toilets still flood, pipes still break, outlets go out. There's issues. Essential services, the demand is very steady and typically has spikes above that steady when there's a growth, or even when there's a growth, people rehab, right? So there's always a need. And the numbers are going up, and people are always going to have to go to the bathroom. They're always going to need lights. They're always going to need some HVAC or some other issues, or whatever it is. They may not need paint. I may not pick that one. That's like, all right, I can hold off painting. But if my toilet breaks, or
you're not waiting.
There's an issue with my water, you're going to get a call. You have to have someone fix that. And even if some of myself who can do a lot with plumbing, I can't figure out some stuff. Like I'm like, you don't know why that drain's bubbling.
and here's the thing.
Paper lock.
How cold does it get in Alpharetta? How hot does it get? When it's hot and your AC doesn't work, you're not waiting to, you know what? I'll wait until next week. When it's cold and your heat ain't working, you're like, no, where's that guy now?
It always breaks because it's the first run of the year when it
Of course it does.
Yes, no doubt. My HVAC guy, just to be clear, Advantage Air, they didn't tell me to say that. I love these guys. They've said, listen, you need to replace this unit, but don't do it until it breaks. Didn't sell me nothing.
And a good thing now, start putting up money. That way, when it's time to do it, you're like, hey, you know what? I was able to save $5,000. That may not cover the whole thing, but look here, you told me to get ready for it. I'm ready for it. Here's the $5,000. How much more is it? And you're ready.
There's a few guys, though. I will say that my parents live in Columbia, South Carolina area. And they said, oh, we had to get our HVAC replaced. I'm like, all right, well, how much you guys pay? And they said $30,000. I'm like, you live in like a 800 square foot house. I go, what did they put in? They're like, some kind of, I'm like, they put enough ton. And so I was like, that unit is bigger than my house. And that my house is significantly larger than there. And I'm like, it's bigger than the unit we have in our entire home. And I go, if the 3 units we have don't total the tonnage that they put, I was like, whoever it was oversold them. I mean, I looked at this thing and it looks like a Cray server been put into the attic of their house. I'm like, why did they put it? Anyway, I was so
the
pissed.
good thing is now they can hang meat in there if they need to.
Listen, they can heat the neighbor hood with this thing.
Yeah, or make icicles appear in the house. Either way,
I told them, like, listen, you might just go put 2 vents into the garage because it doesn't hurt your efficiency at all, and it's just going to make that area more comfortable throughout the year.
Man,
you got plenty of tonnage. Literally, I could run a line to Atlanta and it could get it there. Anyway, I like this. I love the idea of trade. So, and I thought to myself, in my case, is, hey, I want to be a plumber. I still kind of tense up. I go, I'm kind of like, are you sure? But then I'm like, okay, but learn the business, learn how to do it, get your certifications, do everything you need to be able to execute. Because at the end of the day, you can just be that and you don't have to do anything else. You can just show up. That's what you're happy with. And that's awesome. And you can make an incredibly good living. It would take you to your mid-30s to probably hit the same salary if you were full, if you're working 40 hours a week as a plumber. It would take you, I would think, at least a decade and a half, 2 decades in most jobs. Would you agree with that? I mean, like, if you're
most
normal city, major metropolitan city.
Absolutely. Most plumbers, I think, by the time they get their license, are making over $100,000 a year. By the time they get their license, so that means literally, you're a glorified apprentice. You pass the test. Well, now you want more money, and I get that. Nothing wrong with it. But at that point is about when you should be making $100,000 a year. It's up to you. I've had plumbers that I've brought in and interviewed that make $200,000 a year in a truck for another company. I've had HVAC technicians I brought in that make $300,000 to almost $400,000 a year, just driving a truck, fixing AC systems, cleaning them, selling them.
Well, the guy that put that one in my house, like, because it's also like a $5,000 train. I'm like, how did you pay $30,000 for it though? Anyway, I'm bitter. Is there a difference, in your opinion, between the marketed, and I'm not picking on Linux, it's the only one I can think of, versus the trained, good quality America? Like, do you really think there's is it just marketing, or is there a quality difference?
I do think there's a quality difference. And I say that because of the plumbing side of it. I know that the water heaters that I buy are a lot better than the water heaters I see at the big box store. And to be honest, when you're in a position I am and you can actually talk to the manufacturers, it's like, yeah, there's a difference. They won't go into detail what all the differences are, but yeah, Roger, there's a difference. Y'all get a professional level water heater. So to me, yeah.
So when you use a professional who really knows it and they say, we buy from the supply store for whatever reason, because I've noticed, like, the glue that, like, some plumbers have left here works way better than the Home Depot glue. Like, I'm like, damn, that stuff locks down. Like, there is no time loss. Like, and you better know when you set that thing, you have like a half a second to get it the angle you want, or you're redoing the fitting.
Line it up quick.
I never appreciated the lines on the pipes I was cutting out until, and how I probably should have paid attention to some of that. But anyway, make it above. And then once you have that, it's pretty easy to do. But man, if you don't know where,
well, and I tell you what, new products. You made a comment earlier about a line that we were testing, and the gauge blew off.
Oh my God, that was such a cool video.
Okay,
I was waiting for the thing to blow up.
We were waiting for it to blow up. Do you remember what the video was about?
I came in that you had welded it, I believe, right, or something. You'd created those seal on that.
We glued it with a product called copper glue.
Is it? I mean, okay. I didn't realize that, because I thought that was a weld. And I thought you were trying to show what's going to break first, and I was blown away that the gauge blew up.
The weld on the fitting on the gauge. I mean, man, I was like, what just happened? I'm sitting here looking down in our blast chamber. Die, honestly. Yeah. I'm sitting here looking down in our blast chamber, and we've got our slow-mo camera on it. We've got, GoPros down in it. We've got everything that we do for video. And all of a sudden something blew, and I'm looking down there like, wait, there's no water down in there, and water's coming everywhere out here. I'm like, what just happened? And we took it apart. The weld on the fitting broke, not the cap that we glued on the copper.
At that point, you're hoping it says made in China. You're like, see, that's the problem.
Yeah, man, something happened. Yeah.
And I think so anybody wants a cool channel, what's the actual channel name? Actually, I didn't capture that last time for YouTube.
It's Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education.
That's the whole channel name.
That's my channel. Yeah. I'll tell you what,
Search rock.
before anybody searching that, just go search the word plumbing. And
Yes, you will come up.
I was on a marketing cruise last week, and literally I did a breakout session. I had so many people wanting to learn YouTube. I said, look, let's step over here and I'll do a breakout session. So I did a breakout session. I probably had 50 people jammed in a corner area of the dining room on the cruise ship. And I had more people coming in. They're like, we couldn't even get close enough to hear. So that was neat. But when I started this channel, it was Texas Green Plumbing. I was trying to grow a plumbing company. I had no idea I was going to be a YouTuber. If you'd have told me that 6 years ago, I'd have said, what does a YouTuber do? I would have been like, I am clueless.
I met you like 3 years ago.
Probably.
And
Yeah, right.
You were still doing projects. At that point, you still had said, hey, we'll still pick up some big projects and you have since exited that even. Like you don't have time for that.
Yeah. I was running a residential service company. We were doing about $1 million a year. And it was easy to run because I just had 3 plumbers, and then I'd get out and do things as needed. So yeah, we were doing good.
And I think I love to find the reflective moments here. Is that you took a business that you could have stayed at $1 million and made net 400K or whatever it is, whatever your take home from that is, right? Really good, like no doubt you can.
If you're doing things right, there should be 200K profit right there every year on top of what you're paying yourself.
Right, so, exactly. I mean, you got 400 coming in, same suit, different pocket stuff, but like 200 being held back, you're making about 20% for yourself. And you got enough to invest to kind of keep. It sounds like now one of your business models might be, I sell leads to plumbers in our private network.
We're starting to do that. We're fixing to move into that. I finally found a great website guy that doesn't just rip people off.
Oh, really?
And him and I are talking about doing some great stuff. So he's the one who came to me and says, look, you need to do this. You need to create a referral service.
You should. Like, so we do this on the marketing side for my company, Instantly Relevant, because we have a very specific thing we do for marketing for LinkedIn, but for everything else, it's only people I actually know or worked with. And I think one of your things you could do for other plumbers are people you can actually refer them stuff to, which could be another revenue source of, hey, for $100 a year, if we get anything in your area, but you're also listed as a trusted, it's a social cred, right? It's a badge.
Isn't that cool the way that works?
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's amazing. So give advice to someone in corporate. So this is a slightly different demographic. Let's say, up here, I'm 49 years old and I still want to be an entrepreneur. I want to get out of now. We'll use me as an example. I'm not doing this, but let's say if I was, I want to get out of corporate. Is there time for me to become a tradesman, a plumber? Could I got probably 25 years of work left in me that I could actually move and do. Is it too late for someone in their 40s to do it?
It's actually not. And if they want to get out and learn the trade, that's an opportunity. But if they've been in corporate long enough that they understand how to run a business, Thomas, most plumbers don't have a retirement plan. Their retirement plan is work till I die, give it to my children or give it to my family, or see if I can get somebody to buy it, but I hadn't built it right. Maybe I'm not making 20%. Maybe I'm only making 10%, and I'm paying myself, however much money because I'm still out running a truck. That's the kind of business you step in and look at and say, but wait, you've got a lot of customers. You've got a good customer base. You can normally go ask those plumbers, when's the last time you sent out an email to your customers?
What's email?
Yeah. And they're like, why would I do that? Okay. They don't get it. And, we work with Go High Level on their CRM or on
Great.
our
we
CRM.
Too. Love it.
You bet.
Big fan.
So the great thing about it is most plumbers don't know this. So I'm starting to teach plumbers about CRM. And if it's somebody in the corporate world that has been able to put some money up and say, hey, look, I'd like to come in and talk to you about buying your company, but I want you to hang around and I don't know what you think it's worth, but here's what I'm willing to give you, but you're going to get a percentage of it. So every year from then on, it's going to keep paying off until I buy you out. And we put that option in the contract. But you go through and look at it and say, look, this guy doesn't have a retirement plan. So if you're coming in throwing maybe $100,000, $200,000 at him, he's like, wait, this is like hitting the lottery. And I know so many plumbers that would sell their company for $100,000 today. And then you tell them, hang around for another year. You run the plumbing. Let me start injecting money into it for marketing, for KPIs, to get systems and processes in place. And then you want to walk away in a year, walk away, you'll still own 10%, or hang around another year. You can keep making money to run the company, the plumbing side of it, until I don't need you.
How do you do that when the owner is not licensed? So pulling permits and things like that.
Well, you want to make sure that the owner has the license. If he doesn't have the license, you don't need him to hang around. You need the person with the license to hang around. So say you got a guy and he says, look, I don't have a license. I just own the company. Great. How much would you sell the company for? And remember, you don't have a license, so you're really useless to me. I just want to buy the company. But then you talk to whoever does have the license and say, hey, look, I want to make sure that me and you are on good terms. You're going to make good money. Can you step up and do what this previous owner did? Can you step up and run the plumbing end of it? And ask them. They may be interested in it. They may not. They may be the same age and say, hey, no, I'm ready to walk away too. Well, can I just keep you around for a couple of years, use your license until I can find someone else, or take one of the plumbers we have, get them to take their master exam and do it that way?
Well, that's what I was asking. So the other piece would be, as soon as you have it, you're basically buying, in that kind of scenario, they have to have a book of business that is referenceable, addressable, and marketable too, because that's the value. In part of what you could do in that scenario too is for you to get your full payout in the next 2 years, you need to train someone to get a master license. You need
Absolutely.
We need to bring in a junior that can get a master license. Is that hour basis? So I'll go back. Let's say I wanted to get my master plumber. How many hours am I looking at from I start tomorrow?
In Texas, if you go through a DOL training program, you've got to have 4 years to get your journeyman and then 1 more year to get your master's. If you don't go through any kind of a training program at all that's approved by the Department of Labor, it's 4 years to get your journeyman, another 4 years to get your master's. So it's 8 years. So it really is worth having a good plumber around that you know, like, and trust, and know that they're not just going to try to steal all the customers one day.
So one of those models could be, I have customers, I need master plumbers to come in. And when you do it, I mean, not every job needs a permit, right? If you're going to go, someone calls, I mean, I know the rules are in different places, but the truth is, if you had a list of just referral sources that basically, hey, we have, you have people you'll call all the time, you got to put my shirt on, go do it. That's another way. You can do all your side jobs you want, but when you're on our jobs, you do run the risk of them stealing future clients with it, but you have all that kind of stuff. But there are models.
In most states, that's illegal. In Texas, I cannot rent out my master license. So I am supposed to legally be an employee of the company that my master license is for.
And the master license goes to an individual, not
in Texas. Yes. And it's different in different states. A lot of companies don't even have a master plumbing license. Your company has to have a contractor license. So different things. The world's different everywhere you go.
Well, and the reason I ask this, right, because one of the things that people get into for business or for new entrepreneurship is in franchising. And you can buy I've heard this, you can buy a plumbing franchise. What is your take on trades? I say plumbing because that's weird, but let's just go trades a little broader. What is your take on buying trades franchises versus just another path that ends up the same way without doing, you don't get the blueprint maybe, but is there another path, or is that a great path for people?
I think it can be a great path as long as they've got all the systems and processes built in place. To be honest, if you're already an entrepreneur, you understand systems and processes, you understand implementation. Do you really need that? What you're buying is them handing you a book saying, hey, this is the way we do it, and it works. Great. If you talk to an old plumber and you're buying his company, he's done something that works. You just need to find out, look, do you have contact information on every customer you have? And if not, what can we do to get that? How can we build that? How can we start building it? And to me, that cuts your price in half or more. Because then all you're buying is all his old used van and old used equipment and stuff like that. It may be easier to say, look, I'm just going to start my own company. I'm going to hire a master plumber, start with him, let him run it, and then we'll go from there.
Do you think there's an opportunity for apparel to get like a higher waistband, non-plumber ass jeans?
I either wear Wranglers or Harley jeans, and I've got on my soft jeans today because
do you wear tight jeans, like metrosexual kinds?
No, I'm not quite like that. I've lost 40 pounds. I don't know that they make jeans.
I mean, they used to be tight. Everyone's like, do you wear tight jeans? I'm like, yes, because I'm chunky.
Yeah,
like,
I did.
Everything is tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, once my 38s got tight, I thought I'm not going to a 40. And now I'm back down to like somewhere between a 32 and a 34. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's a little bit different.
We need to get you some squats. We got to get an ass back on you. What
Yeah,
happened? You don't want to
well,
get old man ass. Do you get
man,
flat ass? You need to get
I've got
little
one of
bubble.
those climbers. I don't know if you've ever
That's
seen
not going to
those.
get your ass big. You got to get some
Oh,
lunges.
no. Your ass and your legs. I mean,
Really?
I'll show you. I'm a plumber. I really don't care.
I mean,
It is what it is.
a friend of mine has like a 10-inch plumber's ass before it actually gets. It's unbelievable how deep his butt crack is. And the only reason I know that is because every time he comes over, he bends over a little bit to pick something up.
Yeah.
And it is.
Don't be there when the police come in, because if they find 40 pounds of crack in your house, you're in trouble.
This guy wishes he had 40 pounds of crack. It's much, much more than that.
40 pounds is after
intent to internationally
Ozempic for a
distribute.
year.
Like, he's getting a class 3 felony for sure, just for having it on his back. I'm going to use that next time. The class 3 felony on your back right there. Intent to distribute. Do you see how we've derailed this?
It doesn't.
I love it. So what's a trade though you would avoid?
Me personally, concrete work, man, that is hard work. You're out there with a shovel, you're out there with those big shovels pulling concrete. And I don't know if y'all know this.
Concrete it's a team job too. Like, it's really hard to do by yourself.
It is. I've seen some great concrete guys that could do almost anything by themselves. But when you look at what the work itself entails, it is hard, physical, manual labor all day, every day. The good thing about plumbing, electrical, HVAC, a lot of that, it's the mindset. Getting in, diagnosing problems, looking at the system, stuff like that. Concrete is just, all right, put your mud boots on. You're going to be walking around through thick mud all day, and get your big shovel, because you're going to be dragging that mud around. To me, is probably one of the most physically demanding jobs that there is. And that's just why that's one I would not want to do.
I like plumbing because you don't die in it unless you're doing trenches. So trenches I would avoid.
Yeah, you can. Tunnels, trenches, anytime you're possibly in a confined space area, things like that, that's not good. So all the trades can be dangerous. I remember seeing a video one time. A lady had put together this course and training, and it breaks your heart. But she said, I did this because my husband died. And he's literally driving home from a big job. He was a superintendent, drives home from a big job one day, and they had a problem with a light pole on a job. Well, he goes out and tests it, and there's no electricity. He's fine. So he's in there messing with everything, and it starts getting later. And the electronic photovoltaic eye or whatever kicks on.
Oh, my God.
He's in here working. Now, all of a sudden, it's fully live. He got shocked and had a heart attack and died right there.
Oh, my word.
And, we understand lockout, tagout. We understand systems and procedures. But you get there, you test it, there's no power. It's like, look, everything's good. There's no power. And, I did that. I told you earlier, I installed an electrical outlet. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But the funny thing is, I installed it for a bidet toilet seat.
That's what I did mine for.
And it's funny because every time I turned off the light, the seat would glow. It had the blue UV light in it. But when I turned on the light, it went off, and I couldn't get that in my head. How come when I flip the switch, the seat quits working? Well, it wasn't working. It's a night light. When I flipped it off and made the room dark, the light
it was working.
And I'm like, man, this shit is just crazy. It's working backwards. I know it was.
We were going to take a tangent on bidets during COVID. Everyone's like freaking out about whatever toilet paper. I went out and bought 7 bidets and cut some holes in some walls, and we ran some new lines because, and I have not turned back. Every one of our floors are heated. When I travel, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how. Like, I can't even. Okay, you need a portable bidet. That's the thing that you should. That's the thing.
Oh my God, no! I made a video, and I don't know if we made the whole video or not. I literally, so one of my former coaches is in Alpharetta, Georgia, a lady named Kim Walsh Phillips. And she did a conference or a training in, I don't remember where we went that time. Let's say Fort Lauderdale. And we were going to be there a week. And I got this crazy idea. I said, I want to take my bidet with me. So I've got a bidet toilet seat. So I literally wrapped it up. We shot video of it like coming out on the luggage rack at the airport. I'm walking through carrying this thing. I walk into the hotel carrying this thing, and I shot a video in my hotel room bathroom of me installing a bidet toilet seat in my hotel room so I'd have it there for a week. And I'm like, this was
Did you bring an extension
genius.
cord too, just so you can get it over the outlet, right?
I had to go to the hardware store while I was there, and the extension cord's one of the things I had to get.
So every one of the ones I've installed is for a bit. And I say that because I don't think people realize what they're missing. I mean,
I know.
You just don't even know.
I had to tell the cleaning lady, look, whatever you do not walk in my room this week, because if you report that I've interfered with the plumbing and installed a bidet toilet seat, I'm going to get kicked out.
I just went to Podfest 2025 in Orlando this week, and my toilet for this room endlessly leaked. It's like not even quiet. It was like it was like flowing. I'm thinking, okay, I don't care. It's burning money out of their pocket, but they had their valve where you couldn't even shut it off.
Yeah.
And so because they don't want you to turn off the valves in the room, and I'm like, well, that pisses me off. So they no longer have a hose that's in the back.
Yeah. Then come fix my toilet. Either give me the key to the valve or come fix it, because I'm listening to this thing run around the clock.
I just turn the fan on and close the door. And I'm just going to burn some more electricity for you.
Now we're wasting water and electricity. We're really good now.
It was like wasteful. All right, so I'm glad you're up today. So you sit when you pee. Everyone knows that's way better. Everyone knows that.
I wash my butt every time I pee too.
Every time I sit down,
it just makes you feel better.
I know this is cleanest plumber in entrepreneurship, people, but this is life.
This is real life.
This is how you enjoy life.
Yeah. This is information those hacks standing in front of the Lambos aren't going to give you. This is real life stuff.
I'm trying to think I think a portable bidet would be a really good product that you take it with you. And like it clips on underneath, and then you just run the line over to your thing, and somehow it like you source the pump from the back of the toilet or something.
There's got to be there's a way to do it, but
it might be cold.
See, I ain't doing that.
You need the bio bidet warmer, right?
My favorite bidet toilet seat is the Toto, because the seat, like the lid automatically raises. You just go stand in front of it, and it's like your throne appears for you.
Does it make like
it does. It goes dun, dun, dun. Yes.
Actually, I'd rather go like make a horse sound or something. Something more representative.
I'm not even touching that one.
You shouldn't.
I wasn't going to.
The conversation.
Yeah.
It really gets deep and thick when we talk about it.
It does. It does.
If there was one question I probably should ask you today and I did not, what would that question have been?
Who should start a YouTube channel?
Oh, that is good. Who should start a YouTube channel?
Every entrepreneur in the world needs their own YouTube channel. I mean, I want you to think about this. What I said a while ago. Anybody listening to you right now can go to YouTube and search plumbing, and you're going to find me. I give you my word. Look for the mustache. If you don't see it, open your eyes. There's something wrong. Imagine the niche that your viewers are in. It does not matter if it's a chiropractor, if it's a dentist, if it's a medical sales device. It does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody on YouTube searching for what you're selling, searching for what you provide. And literally, like I said, I did a breakout session on the cruise ship the other day. Probably 50 people there, and I think 15 of them bought packages. They're like, look, I want you to teach me what you do. Think about that. These are entrepreneurs that are here to learn marketing. They hear me speak and they're like, look, I want your product. I want this. It does not matter what you sell. Somebody is looking for it on YouTube. Somebody's looking to find out more about it. And if you can become the voice, the face, the persona that is teaching people about this, you become the expert in that niche, in that field. And the best way to do it is on YouTube. And here's the next thing. If you're not doing YouTube, you need to understand somebody else is out there talking about what you're talking about, and they're the ones talking to the customers, the clients that you should be in front of.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
I agree. And YouTube is an animal. I tell people it's not a planet. It's not a solar system. It's not even a galaxy. It's its own universe. So expect that there's a lot to learn is what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. We have a team of 8 that do all my social, right, between podcasts and YouTube and all fill in the blank. I know you have a team that, that you've had for a while.
Yeah, that's about the same size.
Yeah, and you have to, because you need creatives, you need content, you need managers, but that doesn't mean you don't let that stop you. Because my point is, when you get into this, know that you're going to need a team to keep up at some point. And
that's as you start growing. That's as you start growing. You can start with a phone. I mean,
you should actually. I'll one up that. This is an NT USB mic. I don't get money for it.
Yeah.
Phone with a good mic,
I've
please.
got a stand over here. You can hook a phone in it and plug a lavalier. Find a plug that, or find a lavalier microphone that plugs into an iPhone. There you
Well,
go. You're good to go.
so this one right here it goes right into my phone as well. So
Oh,
it's
I
a
love
C
it.
connection. And so I can use this mic on my phone if I needed to. And I know this is a little bigger mic. I saw these ones this week at PodFest that they're Bluetooth clip-on lapels.
Yeah, they're not.
And
Mine aren't even clip on. I've got the same thing. Hollyland or something like that.
yeah. Well,
They,
they're like magnets.
yeah, there's a magnet on the back.
They're magnets.
Yeah.
And they're like
Whenever
125, 149 bucks, something like that.
amazing. We literally bought another set of them. My son gave them to me this morning. They were delivered when I was on the cruise, and he's like, "Hey, your other set of microphones came in." They're
Now,
amazing.
I know they do 2 to 1 set. Can you put 4 so you could just, instead of doing these mics you could just clip these on to people and they can talk and it picks it up just fine.
I have not checked yet to see if we could sync it up with 4, but that would be good. If you're speaking on stages, which both of us get out and talk. If I'm on a panel with 4 people, you give everybody a mic and say, "Hey guys, this is just for my video." So keep passing the
Exactly.
mic.
And you're off stage in your phone recording it. And like, this is
Mhm.
just for me. It doesn't interfere. And so there's so much technology that you can get going, have really good quality of audio. Because I will tell you, audio really matters. Well, I mean, invest a little in getting something that sounds well, because people leave immediately if you don't. And if you don't think you can be niche, by the way, one of the better podcasts that I saw and met the lady for, she does it on raising goats. And they get tens of thousands of downloads every month.
That is crazy.
And so you can get as niche as you want. Now, I will tell you, someone like us, we're very broad in it last year, and we're narrowing down to who it should be. Very broad gets you lots of people, but doesn't get you the same engagement as you get something that's very specific, that I help people in this area that do this, that have this problem. So find the Goldilocks of where that needs to be, but that don't really worry if you don't get it right away. My point is just keep working through it. When you started, you were just putting stuff out there and it was like ghost town, right?
Oh yeah. My first views, I mean, it's like my live streams, there were nobody in. My videos would get 20 views. So I've been there. And
what was the thing that changed? So what did you do that made it go next level?
I think starting to learn how to do things the right way. I think by hiring coaches and consultants and learning what data and analytics to look at. Once you learn that, you start looking at where you really are getting your views and where you're losing them. What video did you make that lost you the most subscribers? Because a lot of people don't know this. They think that when you get a subscriber, they're for life. YouTube goes through and cleans them out.
And it is, we went to 1 million very fast, over 1,060,000, and we lose like 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you watch that and you're like, it pisses you off is what it does. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm happy because they're leaving, because they're killing my engagement.
You bet. No. And that's true. And YouTube does it for that reason. Anybody whose channels they've quit posting, their channel's dead. They realize, somebody sold your channel name to bots in China and you're getting,
I mean, there's so many bots. I will tell you, I don't think you just said you've never advertised, which I wish we wouldn't have. We got a really nice subscriber base of people who cared, but it's not the one that I think we specifically wanted. My LinkedIn is probably more for why we get more value there. But the point being is, I would build it with content and just grind through that. The algorithms do also have to get to know you and show that you're consistent and it makes sense. And it's a small trending, like you get an 8% lift on a video and you do another one like it, you'll probably get a 7% on the next, and that compounds. But if you advertise on YouTube, don't buy ever subscribers. Like, that's definitely a miss. But if you advertise on YouTube, you're going to be too broad. I would definitely go much more specific on what you're doing.
And the things that we're learning, we also sell a product, a leak detection piece of equipment. And we just got into that a couple of years ago, found this product years ago, loved it, kept telling the guy, I want to buy your company. I want to buy your company. I want to buy it. Finally, I guess the beginning of last year, maybe the year before, we acquired the company, and it's on a great growth mode. Now we're looking at Facebook ads, but the way we're going to use Facebook ads is we're going to put pixels on our YouTube videos about leak detection. So people that have watched our videos, now we can retarget them through Facebook ads.
Wait, how do you put a pixel on a YouTube video?
It's all magic.
I need a better coach.
And I don't know, but I got a good coach. Yeah, actually, it's my website guy that I was telling you about. He's like, look, we can put pixels in this video. When people watch this video, now we can retarget those ads through Facebook. And I'm like,
I would like
man, I
to
love it.
meet that person because I've never heard anyone do it through a YouTube channel effectively.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he says he can do
I've heard
it.
the
So
legend of it.
we're fixing to learn.
It's gonna be great. Uh, by the way, another trade that people may want to understand is this digital media marketing place is a form of a trade that
Oh, I agree with you.
anything you learn in college is not going to be applicable for 95% because it moves too fast. Now, the business, the organization, do you need English? Probably it might be one of the better subjects to take. But if outside of school, if you actually commit to learning digital media platform, either not a social media, but I mean like how you do development, how you do this, and you're smart about it, or in general, it is a form of a trade that you can do that with.
And here's the deal. Now, my ex-wife had 2 children. One was still in high school. The other one was in college when we first got together. Well, I was already in the trades, already thinking about starting my own company. And I kept telling them, y'all need to learn marketing. Whatever you do, learn marketing, because nothing else you learn is going to be relevant in 10 or 20 years. But everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a business owner. And if you understand marketing, they need you. And there's so many people out there scamming people, doing people wrong. I've been ripped off by marketing companies for so many years and for so much money. Nowadays, I tell people, imagine driving on the road, throwing $47,000 cash out the window, knowing when you get to the office, your phone is not going to ring. That's the position I was in. So I kept telling both of them, learn marketing, learn marketing. Neither one did. They're still both doing different things. They're both making good money, but one of them, Will, my stepson, when he was working with me, he's the one who helped me learn YouTube. And I literally paid him, look, get in here and learn YouTube. We're going to figure out how to do it. And he's the one who did it. So he did great. Probably worked him too hard. He got burned out and he's like, look, I'm getting out of this. I don't want to do this forever. But I mean, it's something you can learn and it's a great thing.
I tell my kids, like, my kids have their own talents, right? And one of them can draw very, very well. And I said, listen, you don't really need to get a job if you just listen to me on how to use Instagram to make money. She's like, well, how am I? Videotape, or at times you building this.
Absolutely.
And I was like, make that your cover, you holding it, and sell the actual drawing. So people see you built it. They see what it is. Each thumbnail is original. You can talk about how it inspired you, get a story behind it. And now you're maybe selling that for a few $100 for the time you've put in.
Okay.
You don't need to work at Publix. Do that.
Now sell that for $500 and then make prints of it where you sell 100 of them for $100 each.
Yeah. Or exactly.
You don't have to buy the original. You can buy the print. The print's only $100. I'll sign them and sell them for $100 a piece.
Yeah. Sell the original for $1,000. I buy all the original.
Yeah.
I buy the original for $20 right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. There you go.
I was like, you could go. She's like, that's not worth 20. I'm like, no one else is buying right now, is it?
You know what? Tell her to look at daughter, right?
Yep.
Okay. Tell her to look at the anime. I went on a plumbing job it's probably 5 or 6 years ago because it was Thanksgiving night. A young lady, actually it's the night before Thanksgiving. A young lady had come to town. She was at college at A&M. Came to town to hang out with her mother, who her parents had split up. So mom's an attorney. She's in an apartment. Dad's a doctor somewhere. Dad was paying for school. And I go there with a little girl came home and she's flushing feminine products down the toilet and it got clogged up. So we start talking about it and I find out what she does. And the mom tells me about her niece that lives in University Park, a very affluent part of Dallas, who has a YouTube channel because she was talking to me and it's like, yeah, I've just started YouTube and doing this. And I'm telling the daughter, look, quit college right now. You don't need it. Not with what you're studying. Learn social media, learn YouTube, learn stuff like this. She's like, oh, well, I've got a niece who does anime drawings. She's a young female in high school making $700,000 a year on YouTube doing anime, drawing these little cartoons.
Oh,
making a complete cartoon in anime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's making how much money? She says, yeah, she's making $700 a year, but she's tired of it. She's like, look, I just want to quit.
She already has too much money in her life. She already has a problem of wealth.
Another young lady who has a YouTube channel is in my inner circle. And the first time we show up at a retreat in Utah, She's not there and her mom's there because they've both got YouTube channels. And I'm like, wait, where's she at? And she says, well, how do you tell a 23-year-old multimillionaire she has to be anywhere? When you make so much money that you can write your own rules, life becomes a little more fun.
I'll tell you, you don't even have to make that much. If you put enough in where the interest could pay your bills every year, you're work optional at all points.
Yep. 100%. I love that.
And, it's funny because then, like, as entrepreneurs go, I know it's like my son sings really well, and I'm like, if you just did a channel of you singing over time, people are gonna be like, they're gonna love your voice, and you don't have to. You can sing your anything. You can just make up stuff. I want to be a gaming channel. Like, God damn it! Like, everyone does that. No one has your voice.
Oh God, there's a lady named Lainey something on YouTube. She does covers, or did. She's now starting to get record deals. Or at least I'm seeing her speak on or sing on stages in front of people at big venues. But she used to do covers of Fleetwood Mac. And she's literally sitting in her bed cross-legged, and she's got a microphone. She's got headphones on, so she's listening to the track. And she starts singing. It's just like, oh, my God, this chick is fun. She may have sang that better than Stevie Nicks did. And
that's a big claim right there.
It is. But I'm telling you, I think her name's like Lainey Garner. You go search her on YouTube and listen to her sing, and it's like, oh my God, this was good. I mean, I've played it for other people. They're like, Roger, that sounds better than Fleetwood Mac. I said, I get it. But she did it on YouTube. Look at Luke Combs. He started on YouTube, and he got so big on YouTube. You're like, man, I guess I'm gonna have to start, making records and stuff. Gee, it's a tough life you live. Yeah,
man.
I'm
just conscious of time here.
So far off track.
No, it's not off track. This is conversation of two people, and so I think our whole thing is I want you to be an entrepreneur, and if I'm going to close it out, being a trade is one thing, but trade is a sense that you're speaking to it in these things that were labeled as not as worthy of a college degree job, and the reality people don't understand is it is more money than you're likely making out of college. You could be a shitty plumber and probably still make $100K a year because people don't know if you did it well or not. Your master might, but
if you're working for yourself, you can definitely do that easy. I mean, I probably could have worked a day a week and made $100,000 a year.
And you're talking a day, like get to the job, do it, come back 4 hours later.
I'm talking 1 day a week, decide, okay, Monday's the day I'm going to do plumbing. If I could have booked my jobs, I could have probably ran those calls in that day and made $100,000 a year.
Okay, so here it is. Side hustle. Oh, actually, the last question I have is, it was 4 years plus the thing for DOL, but how many hours is in that?
It's 2,000 hours a year is the way they look at it.
Wow. Do you think that's too much?
I do. I've actually talked to the executive director of the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners, Lisa Hill. I've talked to Frank Denton, the chairman of the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. And I've told both of them that. And they're like, Roger, we don't disagree, but a lot of the old plumbers in Texas are going to fight this. I said, so let them fight it.
There's a shortage.
Most of us entrepreneurs understand there's a shortage and we need more people. And if we keep making it where it's 8 years before you can own your own business, they're never going to get into it.
It's an arbitrary number. I mean, 10,000 hours in the math or something. I don't disagree with that.
But you can be a doctor in 4 years.
I don't get that. Well, the thing is, there's just not that many combinations, right? Like there could be certain things you're licensed for. I mean, I'll leave it at this. I know we're coming back a little bit of this, but we got comments coming here. Sorry, I missed some stuff. Jake Hudson. Oh, you know Jake Hudson? Jake Hudson says, I'm doing okay. Thinking, how are you doing?
That's good. Liked and shared.
Random come. Hey, Jake, how are you doing, man? Body by Jake. Jake from State Farm is on.
There you go.
All right. So I guess my thing is that like, in year one, you're allowed to set toilets, do small fixtures, and do this with the master signing off. You're fully approved. Like,
well,
can you run a whole new line to a street year one? No, you cannot.
No,
you can't work in high pressure.
You may be with the plumber that's doing that, so you're learning about it. Because
I mean, from like a licensing standpoint, like you could stop after year one and only do toilets or something.
No. Your first year in the trades, you're an apprentice. You're a helper. You don't know anything and realize
you're handing wrenches to people and
you're carrying the tool bag, whatever it is. But you're going to watch and you're going to learn. And then one day you're going to say, hey, I think I can do this. Can I work on this one while you do the other one? Sure. Go right ahead. And if you're working with a good journeyman, he's teaching you how to do it. So he understands what you can do. So if I've rebuilt 3 toilets in a row with you hanging over my shoulder watching me, when I get that 4th one, I may say, hey, look, you got the tool bag, you do it. Let me watch you.
You go install those bidets.
Yeah.
By the way, that's going to require you to redo all the shit in the back of the toilet half the time if it's an old toilet, which is what I found, because you can't get the goddamn thing off.
You got to disconnect the water line. Absolutely. It takes work.
So my kids' ones, I went because I've done it like 20 times now. I literally went to Home Depot and bought all new stuff for the back, the fillers. I don't know what they're called.
To rebuild it.
I already know I'm going to take my little multi-tool and I'm going to be cutting off the plastic little fitting that comes down the bottom of the toilet, because you cannot get that thing off after 15 years of it sitting there. It's not coming off. Oh my
gosh. I get them off all the time. Come on.
Not without ruining it. I'm telling you, it's not coming off. This thing is.
Well, you're getting it off. Do you care if you run it? I mean, it's trash.
I can't get the new thing on with the new fitting. That's what I'm saying. So when the new bidet thing goes on, it won't thread right, and every time.
Yeah, I've had a problem with that.
They're probably 30
I know what you're talking about.
These are original toilets.
Okay, we're good.
I think they cemented them on.
Maybe they use that copper glue.
I was happy. I did my first gas work. I literally cut a hole in my countertop of my kitchen and put a bigger stove in. And I did my research and said, you can't use Teflon tape. You got to use the goo. I did that. And what I found was the people who'd put the other one in didn't goo tape or do any of the threading on the gas that was there. I'm like, holy cow, what else is in this house?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
It is very scary. So your leak detector, let's talk about that. Is it a water leak detector or a gas leak detector?
It's water. You could probably use it on gas too, just because, and it's funny, me and my son today in the live stream, we're talking about ultrasonic leak detection. But when air escapes pipe, it makes a noise. Take a balloon, pinch it, and poke a little hole in it, and when release it where you can let that air out, and it's going to scream and make noise. A lot of times it's making noise you can't even hear it. That's an ultrasonic noise. So there's equipment for that. But the leak detection the equipment we sell is actually designed for water. But yeah, if there was a leak on a gas line, you could probably touch the gas line and you'd hear that air escaping. So it's using ultrasonic sound detect.
No,
the one that we use is strictly harmonics. It's the noise. It's all audio. When water is spraying out of that pipe, it's again making a noise. And well, this is it right here.
Does it sit on the pipe itself?
No. So all your computer and everything is in here.
Oh, I'm going to go full screen so I can see this better.
You squeeze the trigger. You've got a spot here on the back to plug headphones into it. And then literally you take the tip, which is right here, and just stick the tip in.
Just a tip.
Yeah, just a tip. And you put it like on a valve, and then you press the little button right down here on the bottom, and that makes your speakers go live. You don't want to hit anything or move this around with your finger on this. It'll blow your eardrums out. But this is what literally listens to things like that. And when you have it set right, you go in and you put it on a valve, and you can hear the 2 valves that are screaming the loudest. And that tells you, if these 2 lines are joined, the leak's probably between them. And then you listen right above it. You can take that same tip, push it down on the floor, on tile, on anything like that. Wood's hard to listen through, and carpet, you'll either need to peel it back or push down where you go through the carpet. If you can put that on the concrete, you can hear below it. And this is just some of the coolest equipment. Yeah.
And our water company has had this thing where they're starting to bill people just random numbers. True. Like I have an irrigation meter that's been put in for a project for next year, and they sent me a bill that said, hey, you've used 15,000 gallons. I'm like, pretty sure I've not filled half of a pool up since we haven't even turned it on yet and the valve's off. Like, well, that's what it shows. I'm like, well, there's nothing hooked up to it. I was like, there's nothing here. And they're like, well, I'm like, what month was in it? We can't tell you that. Really? You can't tell me what month the meter,
Okay, so go out and take pictures of your meter and just set an alarm to do it every month and go look and see if the number's changing. Because then
I'd call digital though. There's no meter. It's just
but even though it's digital, if you open, there should be a little black cap that you can open and
it's underneath
see a screen. Yeah, see a screen and take pictures of it. It'll let you know like how many gallons per minute is flowing through it at that time, or how many gallons have been accumulated through it.
I'm gonna go do that because I'm pretty damn sure nothing's hooked up to it. They're like, oh, you must turn your irrigation on. Doesn't work. Nothing's hooked up.
Then I'd call the city and say, hey, I need y'all to come out. I've got problems with my meter. I don't think it's reading accurately. Let them come out and say, hey, do you see anything coming out of the outlet side of that? And when he says
Yeah.
no, say, then why are y'all charging me for 15,000
I
gallons
did
of
that. They're
water?
like, well, we're gonna have to have a crew come out and investigate. I'm like, you should, because it's the one that
Okay.
put it in.
I want to see them when they come out because I want them to prove to me how I use this many gallons of water with nothing hooked up to it.
Yeah, my theory is that they did it when they installed it. That's when it came. It blew out of water and it ran for 8 minutes.
Yeah, it
Filled the
takes
pool
more
up.
than that to get that many gallons of
I
water.
know it's a
moving
lot
out.
of money.
Yeah.
Shameless plug time for you. Where do you want people to go? Who should come? And who should go there?
Just go to rogerwakefield.com. We talk about everything that we do. I teach people about the trades. I teach entrepreneurs about social media. I've got speakers now reaching out, asking me if I'll help coach them on speaking. So we do a little bit of all of it, but I travel around to conferences. I do different things. Go to YouTube and search plumbing. If you do that and you think, wow, I wish that I could be found in my niche, maybe you need to start a YouTube channel. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah, I love that. Open for this. I appreciated your time very much. All right, let's do this. Just so we have a good thumb, look at the camera, do a silly smile, whatever you want.
I just smile.
And finally, for a good soundbite, here it is. 3 reasons why someone should get into the trades. Go.
People need to get in the trades because supply and demand is fixing to kick in with more people retiring each year and less people getting into the trades. Now's the best time because in the next 5 years, you can become the next entrepreneurs and tradespeople make great money. Number 2, as we found out when the pandemic was around, there's a lot of things that are non-essential. Every trades worker that wanted to work worked and stayed busy. And number 3, plumbers normally have the biggest house on the block.
Boom. That's a mic drop. Man. Number 4, plumber's not a lay pipe.
Number 4, you can become known as the pipe laying fool.
I don't know why companies have not. Every city has shows come. I lay that pipe or something like that.
We lay pipe, but so you remember the old show Grumpy Old Men?
Plumbers for Cougars.
You remember the show Grumpy Old Men?
Yes.
One of Burgess Meredith's lines when he's going through at the end, he's coming up with just all these smart things to say. One of them is, "I've laid more pipe in this town than Wabash Plumbing." I'm like, God, I love that old man.
If I have a plumbing company ever, it's gonna be called, laying pipe for Cougars.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Laying pipe in the wild.
Divorced women need a plumber.
Yeah.
The pipe has been broken. I will fix it for you. Yeah.
Attention, single women. We lay pipe better than anybody.
We lay pipe. It's just a bunch of dudes all ripped, and then the guy that shows up is not going to be like that. But that's okay.
Yeah. They don't really work for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Roger. I'm going to put you in the green room. I appreciate you coming in. It's not green; it's periwinkle today because of the colors.
I'll take it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for letting me be here. I love what you do.
I appreciate it. I'll be right back with it. Just give me 1 sec here. Roger Wakefield, go to rogerwakefield.com, search plumbing on YouTube. There's you really will. That's if you don't find him, you're not looking, because I don't know anybody who knows more about plumbing or done more content on it. And he is way more. That is like the first thing he did, right? And I love his story of, I was a plumber, I did this, and then I'm doing this, and he's stacking, right? And he's doing it intelligently, learning on the things before. He could have just chose to lay pipe. Like, he could have just chose, I'm just going to work for somebody to go do this. And he decided he wanted more and took advantage of that and fought through it. And that could be you. You just get out there, try something new, get out there, go unleash that entrepreneur within you. And that's what we were here to do. So if you made it to this point, please hit the follow button on Apple or Spotify. We got lots of good content. We release about 5 times a week. Thank you for listening. Get out there, go unleash your entrepreneur.